So today, we're playing the Reaper, and we've got an empowering Mr. Struggles run. We're going to be using Misfortune to turbo stack our empower, and Double Thornbloom to gain tons and tons of max life and damage. But hey, we also got Mr. Struggles to remove all our opponent's buffs. But check it out, and let me know what you would think of it. Okay, let's go and jump some ranked games with a random character and see who we're going to get to that. So it looks like we are playing the Reaper. We do start off with a relic case, and a banana, and a set of healing herbs. So we are definitely going to grab this broom. Let's grab the piggy bank on sale, and we're going to have to grab some healing herbs as well. But for now, we're going to grab ourselves a garlic. Let's save our 1 gold. I'm going to rock on with this sort of situation, which might not be too bad. However, our opponents will have that relic case with double weapons with increased speed, so they could potentially take us out before they do run out of stamina. But with our full regen and our banana, we do have the potential to survive for quite some time. However, this opponent is going to be reducing that stamina as well as getting up damage on 2 weapons, which might actually be problematic for us. But it's not looking too bad. We are inflicting some blind as well, and a regen is keeping us alive. But again, double weapons. Just pause the video to remind you to like, comment, or subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. Could be a problem, and we barely survived. Not too bad for sure. But I'm going to grab a second broom. I do want to grab a pocket sand, but I'm going to roll once to grab the storage for sure. I do want to add in double brooms like this for now. Unfortunately, we do lose a little bit of max life with this healing herbs out of position, but it's going to be like this for now. We're going to move on once again. So double broom, we're going to be able to inflict a ton of poison, a ton of blinds between these two, which is going to be awesome. However, our opponent will have a decent bit of flat damage with a hero sword and a wooden sword. But hey, we do have 4 regen. Give us a long time to scale up an absurd amount of blinds, which is pretty darn smashing. Now, we could actually grab ourselves a freaking hammer here. Crack open the piggy bank, but I don't think we're going to take it. We're just going to take our garlic. Let's grab the storage. Let's grab even more pocket sands for a ton of blinds. But hey, let's roll again. And healing herbs on sale for 2. As well as this bit of storage. As well as this undead amulet. Oh yeah, I'm going to be grabbing all that. But our piggy bank is going to be sitting in here. We don't get the value from our food items being close together, but yeah, we could have actually switched our banana to the other side. Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense, but hey, we are getting a ton of max life with this one singular piggy bank. We're going to be getting some extra monies. We should be able to inflict a ton of blinds, but our opponent, unfortunately, has an unstable recombobulator, which does remove all these debuffs. So yeah, this epic item here is actually going to win our opponent the game because they're going to be stacking up a crazy amount of buffs, being spikes, empower, regen, and even accuracy, while getting rid of our blind stacking. So hey, we can grab ourselves guard power here. It is on sale. It will give us a ton of regen. We'll actually just stack up our empower, which is not going to be too bad. We can also grab blood manipulation here and go for staff of unhealing type builds. You know what? Let's grab it for now. Let's grab this bit of storage. I do want to grab you, looking for Amulet of Life, Amulet of Wilds. It'll have to do for now. However, we're going to sell our garlic to grab another set of healing herbs. And yeah, unfortunately, we'll be moving on. So also, we're going to be surviving for quite some time with the amount of blind we're going to be stacking up. I mean, we should have a longer time with this blood manipulation to scale up our vampirism. So all in all, it shouldn't be too bad. However, our opponent does have the guard power, which is going to give him regen. Especially with Divining Basket, they're going to have a ton of healing efficiency, but they are stacking up that empower, which is going to deal a lot of damage. But again, if they can't hit us, they can't deal that damage. So really, really fantastic for us. And holy moly, that is an Excalibur. Since it is on sale, I'm going to grab it. Let's grab you. Let's grab the storage. Let's roll. And we can grab ourselves a deck of cards here. We can also grab more regen too, but let's grab this for now. Now, it does give us a reverse card, which is kind of nice and all, but I'm not going to be taking it. But I definitely want to grab this bit of storage. We could grab a pineapple since we do have the Amulet of Wilds, but I'm not going to be taking it. I do want to keep this because we could potentially go for Thornbloom with some stacking and power, which would definitely be awesome for sure. Stacking up with a certain amount of max life. But hey, we'll see. This opponent is going to be rocking the wolf badge with a hero sword and an axe. But hey, we managed to win out, so not too bad. Okay, it's looking like we're going for a Thornbloom type build today. So I was kind of waiting for Excalibur to show up, Magic Staff, but Turnip was the first to show up, so hell yeah, we are going to be going for that straight away. Especially with Rams and Whales, that should be genuinely awesome. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to sell this to grab a second banana for now. Do we still want this broom? To be honest, since we do have this rogue potion and 2 bananas, I will actually keep it in to help stack up some blind. But again, unfortunately, we're going to be getting Mana Thirst, which is going to have 100% accuracy unless we turbo stack an absurd amount of blind. And unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that, but we are stacking up a crazy amount of spikes. And overall, not too bad. Managing to win out once again. Now we could go for an ice armor here. We can also go for staff as well. But a staff on healing with a Thornbloom is definitely a strange combo. I don't think we're going to want to grab that. So unfortunately, I'm going to roll for now. I do, however, want to grab a stone skin potion with a stone suit. We can also grab a strong health pot as well if we do really want to. I think we're going to roll though. Hollow Fire Lizard I do want to grab as well. Let's roll again. I think it's time we sell our broom to grab ourselves another piggy bank because I'm going to be super freaking greedy for sure. But let's grab this fanny pack and let's go to move on. So actually we didn't really need this stone skin potion in because we actually have no way to activate it for right now. But yeah, we'll see. Our opponent is going to be rocking a magic staff with a bow and arrow. They're going to be crafting up a crit with staff, but our setup right now, we can still outpace our opponent, which is amazing for it. Now we could grab the snake for a crazy amount of max life off the rip. But I do kind of want to grab Mr. Struggles and go for a crazy max life stacking type builds. We can grab ourselves a second Turnip, which is going to be amazing for us. We can also grab this looking for an Amethyst Steel and Mr. Struggles as well. But first of all, let's grab this. Amethyst Feasting. Honestly, not as good, to be quite honest. I do want to grab Mr. Struggles though, because we are going to be removing a lot of buffs, which is going to be amazing for us. But yeah, I will actually be moving on. So right now we're not going to be turbo stacking any buffs. But Mr. Struggles is going to be removing some buffs. It's also going to make our Turnip go turbo fast once we do drop below 50% HP. Which is going to be kind of nice. Now our opponent is going to be setting up themselves for a double Thornbloom card Goober type situation. Which honestly we could potentially actually get with our Amethyst Feasting. But hey, that's definitely not too bad. Let's grab this bit of storage. We could grab this bloody amulet, but I'm going to be grabbing Mr. Struggles for now. And you know what? I'm going to be moving on. I'm actually going to add in ourselves this extra pocket sands. But let's move our food items around just a little bit. That should be pretty decent for now. But hey, our opponent is going to have a heavy drinking mana pot stone skin potion. Which if they actually lined their stone skin potion on top, they could have actually got a ton of block from it. But yeah, we'll see. So far. Our opponent is going to resurrect though, which is going to be quite scary, but can we keep up? It's looking pretty close, but smashing. Really fantastic so far. Now speaking of heavy drinking, we could grab our own here. I was kind of hoping for Power of the Moon as well, but I think for now we might actually want to grab By the Holy Light, because this can help us find Genius Lamps on sale, which is going to be awesome for stacking up our luck as well. So I'm going to grab this. It does give us a Maneki, which will increase the speed of our Thornbloom, but unfortunately I'm just going to grab our Turnip and I'm going to roll. I'm definitely going to grab this stone. Let's roll again. I'm going to have to grab this fanny pack as well, but let's keep rolling for now. Misfortune is going to be super necessary. Heart Container can start us off with our scaling as well. But we do need to grab a Heart of Darkness. That way we can start off with Form Power, which is going to be worth it. But hey, do we add in our piggy banks or do we let them go for right now? I think we're going to keep them in because that is going to be 2 extra golds within the next round, which we are definitely going to need, and we're going to be crafting up the strong stones composition. But I would really like an Amethyst Steel here because then we could start going turbo crazy with EmPowered as well based on our armor. But for right now, can we keep up? Our opponent is going to be removing a lot of our buffs with that chin up. We're going to have some damage reduction with that Dragon Skill armor, but we're also going to be removing a lot of buffs. But we stacked up a decent bit of spikes. And awesome, we still managed to pull ahead, which is really fantastic for ourselves. Now I think it's time we get rid of our piggy banks because we're going to sell you. We're going to grab our heart container. We're going to grab Misfortune. We're going to roll. And Mrs. Struggles, healing herbs, and this tiny little protective purse is going to be super, super necessary. But yeah, let's keep moving for now. So we should be able to activate our heart container once this activates once. Give us a ton of max life. And eventually, Misfortune is going to start stacking up some of our buffs. However, it's going to be stacking up our spikes since we did activate our Amulet of Wiles, and since our opponent did remove some of our buffs with Mr. Struggle. But hey, we should be able to remove more buffs than our opponent because they only have one freaking Mrs. Struggles. All in all, it should be pretty decent. Yeah, for sure. We are definitely keeping ahead and not too bad. But we only end up with a 20 DPS. But our saving grace is that we do remove a lot of buffs from opponents with these Mrs. Struggles. As for heals, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of healing, but we did manage to get 200 max life, which is actually pretty decent at this point in the game. Basically doubling our health. As for block, not a whole lot of block to be quite honest, but I do believe we can actually make this a lot crazier. Now speaking of a lot crazier, that's a freaking stable recombobulator, which I do kind of have to grab. I'm also going to have to grab this set of healing herbs because that is going to instant proc our heart container. But this Stone Skin Potion, unfortunately, is not going to be in anymore. We're going to grab Mrs. Struggles. We're going to be removing our garlic for it. And you know what? Let's go ahead and move on. Now, I'm not going to be offering up anything with our stable recombobulator because I do kind of like everything that we do have right now. As long as we can keep getting rid of this luck, our opponent is going to be scaling up. We should be in a pretty good spot, but unfortunately, I don't think we can actually get rid of it fast enough. But we'll see, our opponent does have their battle rage, and yeah, unfortunately, we just definitely cannot keep up with that. Now, pineapple on sale, I'm going to have to grab. Set of blueberries, not so much. Let's grab this bit of storage as well. Let's roll again. Now, Toad and Lamp is pretty good for scaling up our Misfortune. But I think we're going to grab Toad for now. But I'm going to sell this 2-roll for now. Now that is another Mrs. Struggles, which is kind of awesome for sure. Which at this point I'm going to grab, but I am going to move on once again. So we do have a Toad in this position, which is going to be scaling up some luck, which means our Misfortune is actually going to be able to activate quite often. And right now we're going to be scaling up heats, which is definitely not what I intended to do, but honestly might actually be awesome. Increase our activation speed on everything. But unfortunately this staff fire is dealing way too much damage for us. Let's grab our Mr. Struggles, let's roll. And we can grab Double Thornbloom right now, which is going to be amazing for sure. But yeah, for now I'm going to sell our Strong Stone Skin Potion. I know I did craft it up, but I do... Unfortunately, if we grab this right now, and it is going to be an Abyss Steel, that is going to be crazy, crazy bad for us. I am, however, going to sell our Hollow Fire Lizard so we can grab an extra bit of storage because I do want to add in another Mr. Struggles, as well as our stable recombobulator buds. Yeah, I'm going to be rocking on with this for now. So we don't have a pineapple in to be scaling up our spike spots. We'll see what I can do. We should be able to activate our hearts container, and we're going to be start stacking up our power. Unfortunately, we're going to be stacking up our spikes instead because of our Amulet of Wiles. But stacking up our spikes is going to increase our damage quite significantly, but our opponent is going to be slowing us down by a crap ton. But as long as we keep removing our Vampirism, their Frostbite's not going to be dealing a whole lot of damage other than the Frost stacked up on it. Once we get to that fatigue damage, Mr. Struggles is going to be dealing a ton of damage as well. So not too bad. Now we did prioritize actually increasing the speed of our heart container this round, and unfortunately where I placed my deck of cards was not so great. But hey, we got Double Thornbloom. Let's grab this. I'm in a feasting, which might not be too bad, to be quite honest. I'm going to roll. Definitely want to grab ourselves this fanny pack as well. But let's keep on for now. Now the funny thing is, we could keep our pineapple in for a crazy amount of spikes again. But the thing is, I'm actually going to sell it because I do want to craft up a Heart of Darkness. I also want Misfortune, but Wubbertinger on sale for 6 is kind of awesome. So actually, before we do move on and make a mistake, hell yeah, that's going to be much, much better for us. But we're basically going to be just removing a bunch of buffs from opponents. Now our opponent is running Little Chestnut with a unique with a Bloodthorn. Now if we keep removing buffs from this Bloodthorn, it's not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. And if we get rid of their luck as well, they're going to have no crit chance whatsoever. So all in all, it should be pretty decent. We should be able to scale up our max life like crazy as well. However, we're actually scaling up our regen, which is not so great. But hey, unfortunately, it's not looking great. We do end up falling short. However, once we grab a Heart to Darkness, we should be in an awesome spot overall. Because right now, we should be able to get 4 Empower right off the rip as well. Let's grab our Wolvertinger. Let's grab our Misfortune. Let's roll. And let's roll again. Now, you know what? I'm going to sell our Wolvertinger, even though it would be kind of nice with our stamina. But I do want to grab this Misfortune to place in. Now, I'm also going to grab ourselves a customer card because I would like to grab more Heart to Darkness as well. But let's keep going for it. So we should be able to turbo stack our power right now. Yeah, for sure. Giving us a ton of max life. Our opponent is going to be removing a lot of our buffs with Mr. Struggles as well, which is not so great. We're also going to be removing their buffs, but this Prismatic Sword is going to have some scaling damage. And unfortunately, with the amounts of blind we do have on us, yeah, we're going to have 0% accuracy. And unfortunately, by removing our buffs, we get countered significantly hard. More than our opponent does, unfortunately. So we do go down to our final life, which is not so great. So it's looking like we probably should have took our points and ran. But hey, let's grab another Mr. Struggles, let's roll. And this is exactly the card I was looking for. The Fool, because this will give us 1 Empower off the rip as well. And we're going to grab this Protective Little Purse. We're going to sell our customer card. We're going to add our Healing Herbs back in. But yeah, we actually don't really need this by the Holy Light in, to be quite honest, because unfortunately we have no holy items when we craft up a Heart to Darkness. So I definitely want to grab another Mr. Struggles. Now I'm going to be prioritizing increasing the speed over Mr. Struggles rather than Heart to Darkness right now. So yeah, let's keep moving for now. So I do want to grab 1 lamp here. 1 lamp and we can pretty much stack up our power even faster. Because our lamp will just be activating, giving us that luck. Especially right now. Because right now we're kind of just relying on our little toad to give us that luck, which is super, super slow. But that's a lot of Empower, that's a lot of max life gains. But that's a lot of poison on us, which is not so great. Our opponent is going to be removing a lot of our Empower as well with the stone armor. Well, it's looking super close, and holy moly, that poison almost one-shot us there. Well, I say one-shot, we were pretty low on health anyway. Now, we do have a lot of golds. And I did say I wanted to grab a lamp. We could also grab a flutes, but I'm going to roll looking for this lamp. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Corrupted Crystal, I don't really want. Stamina Sack is kind of nice and all. Let's grab it, let's keep rolling. 1 lamp here, and we managed to get it, which is amazing. But we are going to have to sell quite a bit for it. So I think we're going to sell 1 Mr. Struggles, unfortunately. Now, do we sell her by the Holy Light? It will activate our Jin's lamp much, much faster, but I don't think we actually really want it here. Then we could get rid of our Amulet Feasting, but we only need to sell 1 item worth 1 gold, which we could just sell our Star of Courage. Which, you know what, let's go ahead and do that. Now let's grab our Jin's lamp. And you know what, I'm actually going to have that activate faster, because then we can potentially grab an absurd amount of buffs with our Misfortunes. But hey, let's go ahead and see what we can do. Now, unfortunately, our skills really didn't do a whole lot for us, but we'll see, can we keep up with this opponent who's rocking a freaking double axe? Are they going to be able to scale up faster than we can scale up our max life? We'll just have to see. Because our Jin's lamp is now going to activate, since we do have 1 mana and 1 spike, it's going to be constantly going to be that luck, which means our Misfortune is going to keep stacking up Empower. So all in all, this should be super fantastic. That's 26 Empower, 1000 HP. And yeah, this is looking insanely awesome right now. It did take a while to actually get online, probably a little bit longer than it should have been, but we did end up taking a lot of Mr. Struggles, but hey, removing a ton of buffs from our opponent is always going to be awesome. And that's 47 Empower, 1500 max life, and massive damage. But hey, we do end up with about a 50 DPS, which is not too bad. Definitely could be improved, especially since we stacked up so much Empower. But our opponent did have a lot of debuffs on us, slowing us down by quite a bit, which is not so great. But hey, we do end up with barely any heals, but 75 max health gain per second, which actually could be increased quite significantly if we did grab some more Jin's lamps. more Judy's Lamps, more Misfortunes. Yeah, we could have actually had this scaling super crazily. And I did prioritize grabbing so much Missed Struggles that our opponents literally had no more buffs. But as for block, yeah, we barely had any. We did end up with 1 life left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. +9 rank us up a decent bit, which is not too bad. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're jumping into history. We're going to begin a Unsettling Presence Bloodthorn. Now, unfortunately for opponents, they're not going to have a whole lot of buffs for their Unsettling Presence. Actually, no, they still have a crazy amount, but yeah, we're going to be taking that down by quite a bit. We're going to be stacking up our max life, which is going to be awesome. We're stacking up our spikes, meaning our opponent is going to be taking a lot of damage as well. But hey, this is looking pretty good. We have 1500 max life. It's still going up. And yeah, not too bad. And also a big 107 hit, which is amazing. Okay, so we're back in history. We're going to begin a Double Thornbloom Big Bullet Treats Shelly type build. So we should be able to outpace his opponents, potentially, because we do turbo stack our power like crazy. We're also going to remove all their spike skin, which means their Thornbloom is going to be dealing pretty much 0 damage. So all in all, we should be in a crazy good spot. Although they are stacking up a crazy amount of max life themselves, even without this empowered stacking, which kind of start. Because they do have all that cheese with these big bullet treats. But yeah, our Thornbloom is going to be dealing a crazy amount of damage, and that's 84 in power. Okay, so we're going to see, can we deal with a Hammer Curse Dagger type build with Knife to Meet You? Can we out-survive our opponent by stacking up an absurd amount of power? We'll have to see though. Our opponent is not looking too bad. Unfortunately for our opponent though, we are in a pretty good spot. We're stacking for spikes, so their daggers are going to be dealing a lot of damage to themselves. And yeah, I say good spot. They're definitely not a good spot. Okay, so we're going to begin a Prismatic Sword with a ton of scaling damage. Our opponent is going to be rocking Deerwood Guardian, which they're probably going to go for a big mana buff bomb Prismatic Sword. But can we delete their buffs before they reach that mana buff bomb? Definitely not looking like so. They get their big mana buff bomb, but hey, we're going to be trying to steal all those buffs. Which is kind of nice as we scale up our damage and our max life as well. Now their Prismatic Sword is dealing pretty good DPS, but our Thornblooms are also going to be dealing similar damage. The only thing is, their Prismatic Sword is attacking super fast. Which is looking super close, but we barely managed to pull ahead, which is kind of absurd. Okay, we're going to begin a double Frostbite Blood Gubberts with a Bloody Harvester. Now, our opponent is going to have a ton of Vampirism, which is going to be a lot of lifesteal. This Blood Gubbert is going to be dealing a ton of damage. They're going to be reducing a lot of stamina with that Moon Shield, which is not so great. But can we keep up? We're also going to have that Dark Lantern for some invulnerability. We are basically at about 45 in power. And it's still going up. Which is not going to be too bad. As some big old damage, they do get their invulnerability. We have removed a crazy amount of vampirism. And we do counter this build quite significantly. And that's some big old damage from a Thornblooms. Okay, can we survive? Going to begin a Dancing Dragon type build. They're going to have a lot of burst damage. Can we out-survive? We're going to have 100% crit chance. This Dancing Dragon is going to be about 16 DPS, which is going to be pretty much doubled with their crit chance. However, they don't have an acorn color, so actually their crit chance is not going to be so high. They do have that ranger bag for the crit chance, but as long as we keep removing their luck, yeah, it's pretty much over.